Week's IG Live. This is a special cover reveal edition. We are going to be talking with author Deedee Cummings, one of our favorite authors and a big supporter of Read Your World. And we're going to be talking about her In the Nick of Time series, which you can see here. This is the first book, In the Nick of Time, and then In the Nick of Time 2. Well, this fall, the third book in the series, Hope in the Nick of Time, is going to be coming up, and we are honored today to be doing the cover reveal with Deedee. Just here in a few minutes that she's going to be showing us the cover of the new book. We're very excited for that. Again, that's for the In the Nick of Time series. Of course, it's talking about hope, because that's a big theme of things that she writes about, and how to teach kids hoping skills. And if you're wondering what are hoping skills, then you should stay tuned, because she's going to tell us. And she is a therapist, so she's talking from a place of expertise and how to teach your kids hoping skills, looking forward to the future. All of these things are going to be in the third book. And also, one of the things that you may have noticed is, unlike many children's books, these are books that center a young black boy, have him as the protagonist, and also a black Santa, which there are very few books with a black Santa in them. So we'll be talking about those. I also just want to help you make the connection in case you may know Deedee from her Kayla, a modern day princess series. Those are really popular. You may not have realized that that is the same author. So if you want to go back into our archives, we also have talked to Deedee previously on IG Live, where we're more focused on the Kayla Modern Day Princess series, because that also came out just in the last few years. It's a 5-book series, so you can go back and check those out. Today we're specifically talking about her newer series, which is In the Nick of Time. And of course, since I mentioned a black Santa, you can probably guess it is set during Christmas time, but we should make it clear that these are not just for Christmas. They have a lot of themes, and yes, hello. They have themes and a plot that really is applicable any time of year. I don't know how well it shows up on camera, because I know it's kind of flipped. But on each of the covers, you have, on this one, it has hope, hope, love, joy, and faith. Let me see, is it the same ones? And the same ones on this cover. So that gives you an idea of some of the themes that it talked about. One of my favorite parts of this one is you've got two friends, and they're talking about what color is Santa, and they say Santa is the color of love, which one of the best lines ever. So we're going to be talking about this. And if you think these books look amazing, make sure you have entered our giveaway. We already have a lot of entries, but you have until midnight tonight, and that is, if you're watching this on a different day, today is Thursday, you have until midnight on Thursday to enter the giveaway. It only takes a few minutes, and the prizes are really amazing. She is giving away 2 book bundles, so very generous, and that includes these first 2 books in the series, the new book, plus an activity book, a workbook, which are really great. She works with, like I mentioned, she's a therapist, and she also works with a teacher to put together these really amazing workbooks. So you could win one of 2 book bundles that includes, each bundle includes all 4 of those books. So you can make sure to check those out. What you need to do, we actually have several posts where you can enter, but just to make it simple, go to our pinned post. There are 4 simple things you need to do. Follow us, follow Makeaway Media, which is Deedee's company. Follow us, follow Makeaway Media, like the pinned post, and then tell us what gives you hope now? How are you keeping hope alive? A lot of really cool comments there. I had fun just scrolling through what people are saying about teaching young people, community, just taking each day as it comes. Things that, a lot of people are really struggling right now, not just kids. As I mentioned, these books help teach kids hoping skills, which is something I think we all need. So it's really good to remind ourselves what does give us hope. And as I said, these books are really useful to help that with kids. Deedee was sharing a really amazing statistic she can share with us when she's on here about what a hard time a lot of kids are having with this now, and even having a really high suicide rate. have hope and think towards the future. And I love the idea of hoping skills, that this is something you can teach and you can practice with your kids. So yes, hello.
Hey,
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to leave you by yourself.
You know, it's okay because I feel like I had so much like to talk about with these books that it's fine.
Yeah, okay, good. And I forgot that on Read Your World we do the
Oh, sideways.
sideways. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I got to go get my other stand. I have a stand on my desk, but it only shows holds the phone long ways.
Oh,
Anyway, I apologize for running behind. I'm a therapist, as many people know, and those sessions don't always end very timely.
understandable.
If someone needs me, they need me.
Yeah.
Let me get
Well,
my
and
stand,
that
but I'm
actually
doing,
is something that I think that people should know if they haven't read your books. That as a therapist, I think it gives you such a different perspective. You know, where you
yes.
can really teach, not just talk about how we need hope, but you can really help kids understand how to have these hoping skills. Which I know we'll be getting into that a little bit, but I think that's something people should be aware of when they're reading these. That you're getting advice from a therapist on how to do this with your kids.
Yes, and I apologize. I often get pulled into things at the last minute. So I, I tried to set my timer. I tried to use all the tricks to be on time, but I still ended late.
That's right.
So
There's
how
the
are
60
you?
minutes. Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing really,
Yeah.
really good. I'm excited for today. Thank you so much for having me on so I can talk about my favorite subject, kids' books. And
Yes.
I'm really excited about In the Nick of Time. Did you talk about the other books in
I
the
mentioned
series?
about the KidLit series, and then I talked a little bit about the first two books, but whatever you would like to share about some background for people, that would be great.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Again, I apologize to anyone who's on for being a little late, but my passion is helping people.
Mhm.
I've been a therapist for almost the past 15 years, but I've been working with children and families for the past 30 years. I know I don't look that old, but
No.
30 years of working with families. And I was carrying a lot of literal and a lot of figurative weight um, uh, from all of the stories that I was holding, all of the trauma and all of the sad stories that I would hear. And I decided to start writing as a way to help me process that. And I write with the kids I work with to help them process what they were going through. And as a result, I've created all of these beautiful books. And
Yeah.
Leanna, I just love you. I see that you have a Kayla poster
Yes, I
behind
wanted to make
you.
sure to show that.
I
There.
absolutely love that. Thank you.
And of course, I've got the books. I was trying to see if I could fan it. And I know this
Thank
your
you.
books, the In the Nick of Time and books are not just Christmas books, but I pulled out. I have some little reindeer earrings. I don't even know how well you can tell that. My daughter was helping me find
Oh,
them
I love
today.
that. You're festive. I actually have some black Santa earrings, believe it or not. Black
Fun.
Santa stuff is hard to find. I wish I next time we need to coordinate. I would have
Yeah.
worn my black Santa earrings. But I'll wear those closer to the holidays.
Right, right. That's
But
why I
yeah,
had to
so
dig around a little.
I was taking all of that trauma that I was experiencing, and I decided to put them in books. And so in 2019, I wrote the first book in the series, In the Nick of Time, which was just about a little boy who needs to help Santa save the day. I My family loves Christmas and we love Christmas books, and I could not find a story where a little black boy got to help Santa save the day. Thank you.
I'm just,
Leanna, you are on it. But I couldn't find a story where I got where a little black boy got to help Santa save the day. And that's like my favorite storyline, when a kid gets to help Santa save the day. So I wrote that in 2019. And then I wrote In the Nick of Time too, shortly after that, because I there is a Santa in the first book, but I really wanted to prominently feature a black Santa. And all of the books talk about social justice and mental health and having hope and helping one another and believing in one another. Yeah. Okay. So right here, I have to give a shout out to Charlene Mosley. my illustrator, because she is amazing. She
Amazing.
is wonderful. And I really believe that, of course, these stories are my heart and they're what I dreamed up. But I really believe that because I was blessed to find an illustrator like Charlene Mosley, I couldn't imagine the books being better than they are. And that's largely because of her vision and her talent. And so I just have to stop right there and give a shout out to her because she has made my dreams come true with these books. So the last book, Hope in the Nick of Time, I heard you say that there's a statistic, that kind of stayed with me, that made me really want to focus on getting this next story out. I really honestly, when I wrote In the Nick of Time, I didn't plan to have a second book. When I wrote the second book, I didn't plan to have a third book. It's just, you know, interesting how these stories kind of come to you, and then there's something on your heart that tells you, you're the one that's meant to tell this story. So I've been dealing a lot since the pandemic with a lot of clients, young and old, all ages, of people losing hope.
Mm,
And that alone, I hope this doesn't sound silly or facetious, but that alone feels very much like a pandemic. I mean, it's spreading among people fast, that people feel very hopeless. And so I decided to write this book, Hope in the Nick of Time, to talk about a concept called hoping skills. It's just a term that came to my mind. We often talk about coping skills, and coping skills are how to get you through the moment, but hoping skills are how to get you to tomorrow.
mm,
And so I very much wanted to write a children's book that would give children a chance to visualize what hoping skills look like in your daily life. And
mm.
so, can we do the cover reveal?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay.
Yay. Drum roll.
Okay.
I'm not very good at drum rolls, but there we
Okay.
go.
And so this fall, Charlene and I are releasing Hope in the Nick of Time.
Gorgeous.
And again, Charlene is just a wonderful illustrator. Um,
Amazing.
Nick and his family in the book go to New York, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So I don't know if you can see all the signs, all the symbols of New
Mm,
York that are all around the book. But once again, Charlene has done it again with her illustrations. They're just absolutely beautiful. So Nick and his family go to New York, and there's lots of stuff in New York that doesn't go right. There's angry cab drivers, there's people in the street who don't look happy. There are Nick's beloved tennis shoes get muddy, and he's upset
mm.
about that.
Which seems
um,
silly, but that's really important to kids. I mean,
it it's
that's
important to
yeah,
some adults.
yeah. That's true. That's true.
It's important to some adults, but
Yeah.
yeah, something like that can like mess up your whole day,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's lots of crowds. And what I like that is, we have a lot of children and adults who are sensitive to certain things, lights, noises, sounds, crowds. And so there's lots of crowds. Um, and so, anyway, Nick is just really struggling with how to make this day the best it can be. And he has to actively look for signs that remind him that there is lots of goodness in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and remind him of how to activate his hoping skill. So, hope is a skill, it's not a feeling. We say that we feel hopeful, but that feeling of being hopeful comes from lots of exercises and lots of practical steps to get you to that point to where you feel hopeful. We don't just magically feel hopeful. We have to look for signs that make us feel hopeful. And again, you can just see all of the artwork of Charlene. This is Radio City Music Hall in New York. And again, she just, it's amazing. And I'll show you the final reveal at the end of the book is Nick's family is there in New York for the holidays after Christmas, and they stay for New Year's. Yeah, they stay for
Wow.
the New Year celebration. And so that's Nick and his family celebrating the new year. So I'm really excited about it. This is the whole set. Leanne, I'll have to send it to you since you already have the first two. This is the whole set together.
I just have to say, I love, having enjoyed these books from the beginning, I love the progression of how you can see Nick growing up.
Nick
Like
is growing
here, he
up.
just
Yeah,
looks older, and
yeah,
here he's a little bit
yeah,
older in this one, and now
yeah.
that's
Nick,
amazing.
Nick is growing up, and then there is an activity book to go along with it to get kids off screen. So this is the In the Nick of Time activity book. It doesn't just go with the Hope, the new book, Hope in the Nick of Time, but there are lots of beautiful coloring pages and all kinds of activities for kids to do to get to know themselves. It talks about, talking to your parents about screen time.
Hmm.
uh, I love our diversity as a people, and so I always talk about all of the things that um, appear to make us different, but really show that we all have more in common
Hmm.
than we do have different. So sometimes when you look at something that you think makes you different, like you think if you celebrate Christmas, your friend celebrates Hanukkah, someone else celebrates Kwanzaa, someone else celebrates Diwali, you think like this we couldn't be more different. But when you look at all of those religions, traditions, celebrations, they all have something to do with light
Hmm.
and hope.
Right.
And that makes us more similar than different. And so thank you again for letting me. I'm so excited. I'm not joking when I say I have goosebumps. I'm serious. I know that
Um,
seems like something silly people
no.
would say, but it's true. Like, thank you so much for letting me show these stories today. They mean so much to me. And I know they're going to mean a lot to children and families who are searching for ways to work on their hoping skill.
Well, we are honored. I don't think we've ever done a cover reveal on IG Live before. So thank you
Really?
for trusting us with this. That's
Oh,
really
wow.
exciting, especially like I mentioned, I've been a fan for so long and gotten to work with you with Makeaway Media before. So this is so exciting for me. And um, I just love the idea of hoping skills. Like you said, most people think of it as a feeling. You have it or you don't. And this
Yes.
the idea that it's something that you can learn and you can practice and you can teach your kids. And for those
Yes.
that don't know, I mean, maybe you're more familiar with Deedee as an author and you don't know all the work that she does for adults too. Go check out Makeaway Media, Makeaway Mindset. There's a lot for grown-ups as well. I've benefited from. I've gone to some of her workshops for it. So if this is something that interests you personally, not just for your children, you should really check that out.
Thank
And
you.
like I said, I mean, from a emotional, what is it, social emotional wellness
Mhm.
perspective, these books are important. And also, as you pointed out, like the diversity is so important for kids to see. There's also, I should mention, a blog post you did recently about centering Black boys and Black boy joy, and
Mhm.
so people can go read that if they're more interested in that. And tell us, so when does the book three? I know it's in the fall, October,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Do you
Oh,
remember?
yes. Thank you so much for reminding me of that. I forgot to say that. So the book and the workbook actually do not release until Tuesday, September 30th. And I know that's a little early, but holiday books are kind of hard to market because people are buying early. And so we want this book to be on your mind and something you're thinking about, and even to give away. It's not just gifts to your own children, but maybe give a gift to your child's classroom
Right.
or to your church daycare or your community center. So we're releasing the book for all of October because we want to make sure that by November people have heard of this book and the word has spread. Because after about December 1st, people are pretty much done buying for that year, and I really want to make sure we get this message of hope out as soon as possible. Another important point about that is these books, while they have a holiday focus, the messages in the books, these are books that children can read all year long. And forgive me if I said this on our last IG Live, but recently a school librarian of a large elementary school here told me that In the Nick of Time is the top requested book. It's the top requested book. So that was very encouraging for me as an author to see that that story really is reaching kids. But even though the book doesn't release till September 30th, you can still take an action today, because the book is available right now on Amazon for pre-order, both the book and the workbook. And that helps authors a lot when you pre-order their book. So go to Amazon. You can search for my name, or you can search for Hope in the Nick of Time. Either way, the book will come up. Please place a pre-order, and tell people you know about this book filled with hoping skills. And there's even something in the back of the book that helps you even further explain to kids what we mean when we talk about hoping skills. So there are tips in the back of the book that you can talk about as a family or a community, showing kids what the hoping skill is. You know, we brought up the statistic, but I don't think we said it. And I think the reason is because a lot of people don't like to talk about this, but we've got to talk about it. The statistic that we were talking about earlier is that children from 10 to 14, the second leading cause of death in our country, which this is just shameful to me that we're not doing more to talk about this and more to address this. But the second leading cause of death for children from 10 to 14 is suicide. Are not killing themselves. They are dying of suicide. It's like a cancer. It's children from 10 to 14 can't possibly make the decision to harm themselves. They don't understand the consequences. They don't know how long life is. They don't know that how terrible they feel today, that a year from now they won't even see those people anymore that may be bullying them or causing them this pain. So it's a statistic that I'm asking us to talk about. As hard as it is to talk about, as difficult as it is to hear a statistic like that, we can't run from it. We've got to talk about it. And that is the statistic that led me to start thinking about this concept of hoping skills and to write this book.
And if you're like me, if I'm a parent of kids in that age range and you're thinking, what am I supposed to do about it? I don't know how to talk to my kids about this. I don't know what to. That's one of the things I love about your books is that it gives you the language to talk to your kids. Or as we know, like a lot of times especially this age, you just start talking to them and they kind of tune it out. But if you have it in the form of a story, they're much more likely to pay attention and to get kind of emotionally invested in it and to care about the characters. And so the message is going to stick with them more than you just sitting down and saying, hey, things will get better. That may not make as much of an impact, but in a story form, it really does. And like I said, it gives you the language that you can use with them and tips and actual things you can do. We've talked about the Kayla books. If people haven't looked at those as well, have a lot of language you can use and like specific activities you can do with your kids, to when they're having a hard time. And so both of these series are really great. If you're not sure how to talk, because that is such a terrible statistic and nobody wants their kid to be a statistic or their friends or whoever. And I love the idea that this is something you can gift to your school or to church daycare. And we always talk about you can always request it from your public library, because then if they know there's a demand, they'll order it and then it'll be available to a lot of kids. But so everybody, go ahead, do your pre-order and enter our giveaway. So you've heard about this
Yes, the
amazing book
giveaway.
through tonight only, midnight Eastern
Yes,
tonight. Go to our
giveaway.
pinned post, enter the giveaway, and you could win one of 2 book bundles of all of these books, including the workbooks. So thank you, Deedee. That's so generous of you to give away those 2 book bundles. That's amazing. And I'm so
Yes.
excited for you and for the book. And everybody
Thank
should
you.
check out Makeaway Media. And from there, like she said, you can either search it up on Amazon or use the link that they have on the bio. And they have a lot more information about it as well.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Lee, and I appreciate you.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you
Bye.
next time. Bye.
Have a good day.